Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching The Clone Wars Season 1, Episode 16, The Hidden Enemy. We are continuing on for the last one. I don't know exactly what the hidden enemy is going to be, but I guess this is going to be taking us post the blockade, or during the blockade, but kind of up to the events that started off the movie, and I'm very intrigued. I know that somewhere in the galaxy, Ahsoka is boarding a ship to come and join them, but I am just excited to keep going in this journey. We are back into Season 1 with this episode, obviously, but we're still a little bit further on than where I was, but chronologically we're back in these. I get how this works. A reminder, as always, that you can find the unedited version of my reaction and all of my reactions up on my Patreon. I can get those 2 weeks in advance, and you can also get the edited versions 1 week in advance. And at the moment for Season 1, the Season 1-ish time, I'm doing 3 episodes a week. I think for Season 2 that might go to 2, but I'm still, like, the episodes are so short that I'm enjoying getting out more than 1 a week. So yeah, let's go.
They're anxious to get going. Glad to hear it.
Oh, we're straight in the ambush.
Something's gone wrong.
Oh god. They know about the ambush.
Our position's been compromised.
You can say that again.
South Tower. We're in the north. Not for long.
I love him so much.
Fire your cables.
No! Anakin is just mildly inconvenienced by these laser blasts.
Now what?
How did they know about their plan? Well, yeah, they're gonna follow you, sweethearts. To bring the head with them as a souvenir?
Maybe this tactical droid will tell us how they knew.
He is. I mean, it's a useful souvenir.
Let no one know of our mission. Understood, sir.
It could be either of you. It's probably not going to be, but it could be. Yep.
Hey, stop!
I mean,
Who's that?
Bob seems very guilty to me. He needs to get to a place, whoever he is, where there are loads of other people coming and going and just change his outfit slightly and be like, I'm a different Bob. That's what I said.
Big problem. Perhaps this means our adversary has learned about our mission. Perhaps it does.
I think it might.
Nobody's tried to stop us. Check it out.
Are they using their own terminal?
Barracks. Only Slick's not gonna like that. No.
Might be him, might be Slick.
If one of his men is...
He looked like one with hair, but he might have had a helmet on.
You called them here.
Is it Slick?
This is the belly of the beast.
Uh-oh.
The way I figure it, you tell the truth.
Yeah?
Nothing to be nervous about. You know, while you were in here? No, sir. I didn't even power it up.
See, he's the most nervous, but he could just be like, I would be feeling really, like, nervous and awkward in this situation and not wanting to believe it of anyone else.
Then we thank you for your hospitality.
She's got the high ground.
I just wanted something back. I guess I felt like they owed me. Lying about where you were, taking forbidden items from a battle.
But it's unlikely to be a bad guy working with the droids if he's keeping the fingers.
But how can we trust
They didn't ask where the commander of this unit was.
No, sir. We'll get you a proper investigation.
It's him.
You don't have to say anything till the Jedi come back and talk to you. Maybe you should talk, sir. Tell them where you went. You turned left toward the command center.
I told you.
Where were you going, sir? What did you mean till the Jedi come back?
Ooh.
The Jedi were gone.
I didn't catch that.
Slick's the traitor?
Well, yes. You gonna go after him?
He's a rakeweed.
Uh-huh. What? He set a lot of bombs. No wonder they were so hard on supplies and weaponry during the back of the movie.
Weapons depot.
You really thought she was just gonna, I mean, I know they kind of had to, but you really thought she was just gonna sit there and be like, okay, cool, arrest me, I give up.
You've served your purpose.
You've overestimated your abilities.
Really?
Her abilities to flee are, well, I was gonna say that her ability to flee is unparalleled, but Grievous is also very, very good at fleeing. Oh no!
Prepare to march on the city.
That's why we pick him up in the movie. if I was the guy they're looking for, I'd just like to shave my head or something so that if I just walk past someone in the base, I wouldn't look exactly like me.
What got it? Gun's empty. You know what's funny? Traitor.
Not so slick.
Never take a chance. I'm not the traitor. You are.
Why does he think they're traitors? Is it because, like, I don't know, is he like someone that's on the separatist side because he thinks that clones are made just to fight and he's against that?
At least I got something out of all this suffering.
Clones do very much do that, even to the point of taking out the Jedi.
So that you wouldn't understand. Freedom.
I can kind of see his point, his methods and how he went about it and betraying his brothers against. Can see his point.
You couldn't be a greater disappointment. How could you do this to your
Anakin,
brothers?
don't say things that in the future are going to look funny.
Brothers enslaved. We do your bidding.
I kind of agree with him.
Your whim.
1,000 battle droids on their way here.
The fight
Yep.
goes on, gentlemen.
You're about to get a better one. Right, so this episode definitely raised some interesting questions because I have kind of been a bit uneasy in general ever since the movies about making clones just to use in the war. You know, I can see how you would view that as, oh yeah, we don't have to use like real people or other people, but if the clones are real thinking sentient people as we know they are with different personalities, they have no choice but to join the war effort. They have no choice but to become soldiers, and if they're lucky maybe they'll get to become a medic of some kind. Like, it's not like the clones are raised and then given the world of options and some of them can go off and become teachers. You know, they have to fight in this war. And I think to an extent they're very much brainwashed throughout their entire accelerated growth period of like, this is your purpose and it's wonderful and you've got to do it. I'm against the concept of the clones being in the army. Now, I think that as far as the Jedi are aware, as far as we're all aware, they're fighting for a good cause. I mean, obviously it doesn't end up that way, but as things stand, they're on the right side of the war, as far as there is a right side in any war. So I can definitely kind of see the clones looking at the situation they're in and thinking, well, you know what, at the end of the day, this is the right thing to do and I want to do it. But for me, it's the fact that they have no choice. I agree with Slick about that is kind of like slavery. You know, not being given a right to choose what you want to do with your life. Or where you go or how you live it, and that they were created just for that purpose. It's just messed up. At the same time, obviously, betraying your brothers, betraying the people that you claim you're fighting for, isn't a right way to make that message. You know, enriching yourself, getting yourself freedom, isn't the right way. If you really believe that, try and make some kind of like, talk to your fellow clones, make like a labour union. I don't know, but talk to them and be like, you know, we need to not have this, like, fight for your rights, basically. Don't kind of betray your brothers for your rights. So Slick's, while I agree with what he said a lot, I don't agree with his actions at all. And I can also think that to an extent, maybe they just, a lot of the clones would choose to fight with their brothers because that's what they're good at, that's what they were raised for. I don't think all of them would choose not to, but it is to me like they just keep churning out new people, and it's a bit like conscription with the trenches, of just keep sending out like fresh meat into the trenches, and at least those people weren't, you know, born specifically for that purpose. But I'm against conscription as well. Like, it's a bit icky to me, and most of the time I push that to the back of my mind. I just enjoy the episode. I enjoy the clones for their individuality and their skill, and like I mean, the clones we've met have all been great, other than Slick. That has always been something that I have rankled with me a little bit. I can see why you would think it's better than just enlisting ordinary people, but when you've made, like, it's just an iffy old thing. But definitely his methods were wrong. And the clones, I think one of my favourite things about the clones is that they have a real sense of brotherhood, that they don't struggle with their identity. And it's not, we haven't met, at least yet, any clones who are like, oh, I'm just the same as everyone else, I'm a clone, I'm not worthy or anything. They're all like individuals who believe in their own self-worth and the self-worth of their brothers, and they view themselves as an extended family, and I think that is really special to me. That almost makes it worth it in what they have to go through. So I think it's a real mixed bag in a way, especially as I haven't seen the Jedi, or at least our Jedi, using the clones as disposable. You know, that they don't think, okay, we'll just send some clones over there, they'll get killed, and then we can do our mission over here. That is never the way they do things, which I think is important, because if they just use them as completely, like, as just the droids, just intending, like, just using them as sacrificial victims, cannon fodder, that would be the worst. Like, yeah, they have them in more of the grunt positions a lot of the time, but they're able to work their way up, etc. So I don't think it's totally, like, totally wrong. I can understand why they do it, and I think we've seen people like Anakin and Obi-Wan who truly value the clones that they work with. They make bonds and relationships with them. They were hurt by the betrayal of Slick because he was one of the commanders, or someone that they had some contact with. So I do definitely think this episode was good in raising that not every clone is going to be like, yes sir, because you just wouldn't have that. As much as you have your brotherhood, they're all forced to be there to go through God knows what traumas, and that was the only reason they exist, is to go through those traumas. It is an iffy old concept. I enjoyed seeing, I didn't enjoy seeing Ventress, I hate her a lot, but kind of her coming up, knowing that she was there distracting them so she could go off and get Jabba the Hutt's son and do all of those shenanigans, seeing the way that why they were in such desperate straits at the beginning of the movie. You know, the planet was already fairly low on resources because of the blockade, and now all their weapons have been gone. You can really sort of appreciate just how dire their position was in the movie. But on the whole, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the concept of, if one of the clones is a traitor, how do you work out which one? And how they all have the same moves, they all know their own moves, so potentially a clone joining the bad side would be dangerous, because he'd be able to tell them every single bit of training they have, all of their go-to manoeuvres, even more than you can just observe on the battlefield. So yeah, I really did enjoy this episode though. I like that they raised the point of not every clone is gonna, that there is something a bit iffy about the whole concept of the clones. Now that being said, they didn't raise it in the sense of like, woo, let's go join protests. You know, he was still in the wrong with what he was doing, but I think that was a really important thing for the show to do, because it is a really iffy concept, and, you know, we are able to put it to the back of our minds. Most of the clones seem eager and willing to do what they're doing, although they are kind of brainwashed from birth. But yeah, I think especially as well seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan really working as a team and a unit in this episode. I think that was one of my favourite parts as well, because a lot of the episodes I've seen so far of the Clone Wars, they've understandably been doing separate things, and it's often been Anakin being like, oh, I'm going to go and do this now, and Obi-Wan's like, well no, your orders was to do that, and he's like, okay cool, but I'm going to go do this. So I really did enjoy that they had just kind of a focus together with this mission. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of these reactions on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, and the edited versions 1 week in advance. And thank you so much for watching.